This is a very unpolitical song called Willie Moore. Willie Moore was a king, age 21. He courted a maiden fair. Her eyes were like two diamonds bright. Raven black was her hair. He courted her both day and night. To marry him she did agree. But when they went to get her parents' consent, they said this could never be. But I love Willie Moore, sweet Annie replied, far better than I love my life. And I would rather die than weep here and cry, never to be his wife. That very same night, sweet Anne disappeared. They searched the country round, and in a little stream by the cabin door, the body of Annie was found. Sweet Annie's parents, they live all alone. One weeps, the other cries. In a little green mound in front of their door, the body of Annie now lies. Willie Moore was a king, age 21, courted a maiden fair. Her eyes were like two diamonds bright. Raven black was her hair. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. There's no more kneeling, no more kneeling, no more kneeling over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. And there's no more moaning, no more moaning, no more moaning over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried and go home to my Lord and be free. And it's oh, freedom, oh, freedom, oh, freedom over me. And before I'll be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Go home to my Lord and be free.
Miss Baez, do you think that the youth of today in the United States has a different international conscience than earlier generations?
I think it's very active right now, yes, more so than in the past.
I wonder how you should pronounce your name.
My name? I don't even know anymore.
Some people say Joan Baez and Joan Baez and Joan Baez.
Joan Baez. That's good enough.
I've heard that you've started a school or taken the initiative of one. I'd like very much to hear something about it.
Okay, I'll try to explain it quickly. My feeling was one of, and still is, somewhat of desperation, that the world is heading in the wrong direction, very fast. And my feeling is that we have to head all our activities, our institutions and everything in the other direction. The direction we seem to be heading is towards war, probably the Third World War or something like that. And in order to stop this, I felt as though the only politically sensible thing to do was to investigate non-violent alternatives to war. In other words, try to begin to eliminate violence on every level, because every time violence starts up again, it's gotten us to where we are now. So the school is essentially to try to find alternatives to violence.
Ms. Baez, you are an advocate of nonviolence. How can the people in Europe help in your program?
It's anybody anywhere can do something. That is to say, at this point, I think America is one of the worst, is doing probably some of the worst things. But for instance, a nation which is in NATO, which criticizes America, he really has no right as long as they're helping, in a sense, support America. Sweden isn't so badly off right now, but I suppose that any support you could give in any way, just that you don't cooperate with any form of violence that your government is involved in, or you non-cooperate with your own government's violence.
I really have no question. I come from the West Coast today, yeah. I come to see you, but I want to send you the love from the whole class in my school.
Oh, thank
you. They look at you and they want me to do that. I send you the love.
Please send mine back. Will you?
I do that. Thank you.
Where do you, as an artist, stand in the freedom fight?
Well, as an artist, I'm just very lucky because some of my art I can fuse with politics. Some of the songs I'm able to say in a way what I would like to say, but I don't think that singing is going to be enough to stop the next World War. I wish it were.
Do you think that there is a greater need today than ever before for a change in the human mind towards non-violence?
I think there's a greater need today for organized nonviolence than there's ever been, because in 1966 we have in our power, the power to blow up the entire world, and this is unique. And so in that sense, yes, it's more desperate now than it ever was. Yes.
Well, I've got a very simple question. I like that Portuguese song you sang so very much, and I wonder what it's called and who has written it, if you know.
There were two songs, and I learned them both off of a record of a Brazilian carnival music, and I don't know what they say, and then some of the words I actually made up because I couldn't remember them, and that's true. And
I don't know what they called either.
Temaya is the name of one of them, and Teador is the name of the other, and I don't. They're on my albums, but I don't know where the original came from.
Baez,
Yes.
can the people that'll be watching this television show write to you for any information in regard to your nonviolence program?
Of course, yes.
Where?
Well, I would give you the simplest address is just me, Joan Baez, Carmel, Carmel, California. Very small town. And I'm very notorious in that small town now. When we try to put a school to talk about nonviolence and peace and brotherhood, the neighbors get very angry, so.
You have made a very radical action by refusing to pay taxes for war. Are there many people in the United States who do this?
There are. It's growing. I think it's growing very rapidly right now. A couple of years ago, there were very few, and also some of the ones who refused to pay their income tax. This is in relation to. I pay only 40% of my income tax, because 60% goes to armaments and weapons. And the question was, do other people do the same? And yes, there's a committee now, and I was surprised when I saw the list of how many people have decided to do the same thing. Also, earlier, some people did it but were afraid to admit it publicly, or some people were on the verge of doing it or thinking about doing it, but it takes that final little. And now, one thing is that it's not so. People are very afraid to do something like that, and I don't think it's anything to be afraid of. And when they see somebody else take the step, there really isn't anything to be afraid of.